Okay, Aries, shall we try this again? This is the reading for the Neptune eclipse that happened in the overnight. For those of you who are not aware, I had done one and the sound, it was like a 20-minute video and the sound just went out after 8 minutes, which is insane because I have done like 600 videos and that's never happened. So I feel like if we look for the message in the message, there's some way that the universe is going to get your attention, right? So like pay attention to signs, pay attention to when things are like completely out of the norm. Like, oh, that's weird. Like that never happens. When you have something that said that never happens, pay attention to it. Now, just to get into what the rest of the cards were, because it had covered the first three and then the bottom. There was even, my cat even showed up. Zoe made a little cameo, so sorry about that. But the rest, the cards that came out later were Nine of Cups, the Lovers, and then a Page of Cups. And then I asked for clarification on the Lovers and I cannot remember what it was. But basically the message was really all about pointing your attention forward, right? Because there was that Five of Cups there, where it's not focusing. You're focusing on what isn't instead of what could be. And yes, there's only 2 cups now, but then they become 9, right? And then you get someone else who comes in with an offer to make them 10, because we had the Page of Cups and the Nine of Cups and then a Page of Cups. So the Lovers is about a choice. And as I did an astrology video talking about the planetary energy, I'm going to try and put it at the end of this. If I can't do that, then I'm going to just put it separately. But there is very much, Mars is squaring the nodes right now at 7 degrees. And that is a very important choice point of, are you going to go forward or are you going to keep clinging to something that's in the past? The right answer, I don't usually say there's a right answer, but the cards yesterday were very, very, very clear, which is why it's hysterical that the audio went out. Move forward, live forward. That was the message that came out in one of the cards there that I was reading. Your path, the path unfolds in front of you where you put your attention. If your attention is on the past, then you will continue to walk down a path that leads you to the past. If your attention is pointed towards the future, then that is the one that will rise up to meet you. So really the message was, whatever is holding you back from the past, release it, release it, release it, and heal. Take this time to heal. Celebrate what was, let it go, and live forward. Now, that said, we're going to start, since obviously wanted to start over, which I think is interesting, right? Because it's like, there's a new chapter, like it's going to do something specifically that makes you change. And I talk about this in the astrology a little bit, that there is such strong energy towards shifting and changing. And there's something that will happen out of your periphery, vision that will force you to make changes. So I had to redo the reading, had to change the message, and that will likely play out in your lives, not in the same way, obviously, but where you are forced to rethink, redo, replan, revisit, and in there is a shift forward. So let's get the overall energy here for this Neptune Pisces. I would say Neptune, Pisces, whatever. Okay. Interesting. Now, this is a deck that I like to use whenever Neptune is strong and Pisces is strong. And it says protection, right? Yesterday's message was all about healing. This one is about protection. And it says, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. I have a meditation on this channel. I'll link it here that I did years ago for how to call back the fragments of your energy that you have left in meetings, in relationships, in, you know, wherever. But there's a proper ritual that you can do to bring that back. This is telling you to heal, to be whole again. Very Virgo. That was like very Virgo, very demure. Get back the pieces of your energy body that you have left in the past. You could call them all back and be whole again. Virgo energy. Heal to be whole again. So going through, cut the cords, detach from anyone whose energy is still tugging at you, and collect yourself spiritually, energetically into a place, into a position of empowerment. Okay. Let's get the challenge energy here. What is the challenge for the Aries watching this video for the Pisces eclipse? Remember, eclipse season, we got 2 more coming up. So, okay, love, love, love. This is King of Wands, creator energy, right? So collect yourself, call back all of that fire so that you, like, through the feminine, as I said, through repacifying. I don't even know why I said that, but like restoring the wholeness of the vessel, let's say, you call back this powerful masculine energy, right? Which is funny because we have Mars in Cancer right now. So that's exactly what it is. Mars is dwelling in the feminine, but he wants to go. You get your fire through the water. And right now you might not be feeling very fiery. It's because there's embers of you everywhere. Oh, okay. All right. All right. 2 new moon cards coming up, right, for the lesson. 2 new moons, both symbols of new beginnings. The first is the new moon in Taurus, know your worth. And the second is the new moon in Capricorn. So both earth signs, right? Creating, seeding, step up and lead. Like I said, I said it I say it in the astrology piece. Many of you are going to find that you are stepping into positions of leadership, thought leadership, right? Whether it be within your immediate community, your spiritual community, your academic community, because we have Jupiter in Gemini, which is your community. We have all this power in Pisces, which is about the spiritual, tapping into that. So becoming a spiritual leader, whether in like a formal name or just like, what's it called? When you don't have the title, but I guess spiritual leader, when people like see you as the boss, but you don't actually have that title. But yes, do not accept less than you are worth. But you know what? To me, it's not even about other people. This is for you. Know your worth. You know your worth. Other people know your worth. They see it. You don't feel whole. Again, look at all these new moons here. Jeez. There's 3 of them. 2 different decks, right? So much newness here. Ready. You know your worth. Trust. And you may feel like you're in 1,000, I failed at this, I failed at that, I failed at this. Those were all learning. Every failure teaches you something. We just have a really weird relationship with failure. It's so useful. You can't get forward without it. So they were not failures. They did not take away from you. They actually enriched, made you richer as a person and as a karmic being. All right, let's get 3 cards. Three cards for the full moon eclipse in Pisces, please. Oh, what do we have? Back from yesterday. The Lovers again, the choice, right? And that's that Mars in Cancer right now, even though this is a Gemini card. But it's a choice. Do you want to stay here or do you want to go forward? Which will be your destiny? Oof, okay. High Priestess, spiritual leadership. I did a reading for myself the other day that was insane. I got 10 out of 12 cards, all major arcana. Let's get one more. Also the Pisces card. But you see, there's only powerful figures here. Ah! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm not picking up the ones on the floor because there's so many here. All right, so what did I say about the major arcana? Hierophant, strength, death, and then the Ace of Swords, right? But look at this lineup. So if you think like what's happening right now is insignificant, I can't even fit these in my hand. Let me see if I can try. No. This is all the heavy hitters showing up here. We have a divine couple, even though they are they are platonic, let's say. And then this, like everyone showing up. Change, commitment, intuition, be strong, make your choices. Clarity, starting over, new beginnings. This is all like super, super exciting. So isn't that so crazy? I said I kept getting all major arcanas and here they are again. Okay, so yeah, massive transformation, big choices, big commitments. But this is also like, remember what I was saying, like as above, so below. Like this male, female here, but like he is of the earthly commitments. She is of the spiritual commitments. But they work together, right? And that's what's happening. The universe is really aligning right now that the 3D and the 5D are working together. Very strong beginning. So it's like you want to lean into that energy. Trust your intuition. Choose wisely. What's the transformation? What's the next step? What are you leaving behind? Don't look back. Have the strength to keep moving forward. Hey, lady. Okay, I'm gonna get another. So I brought out my Mercury deck. I'm curious to see what's on the floor now. Let me just pick it up. The King of Cups and the Four of Cups. To me, So this, like I said, I didn't want to put them in there, but they're in it now. Be wise in your choices, right? Also because we had that 5 of Cups yesterday. Trust your emotions. But this guy's like, it's always the same thing with these 3, right? The 4 and the 5 are very similar. It's like, oh, it isn't what I wanted. It's not as big as what I wanted. Or I don't see the potential. There is great potential for something here to develop. If you have like new offers, let's say you're doing jobs, right? You're starting a completely new field, totally new thing. And you're like, oh, but I used to make so much more money. I had a big title, or I was in a senior position and now I have to start over. That is necessary, right? Especially with these nodal returns that we have. You come to a full conclusion and you start again. And it feels like you're starting over, but you're at a much higher level. So make sure that you're understanding it's not as much as I thought it was going to be. It's actually more, to be perfectly honest. So keep that in mind. Oh, okay. Got it before it flew up. Okay, so handwriting authenticity. Let's see what this says. And I'm getting like handwriting is on the wall kind of situation. So it says, it's time to reveal the real you. So if there's some of you who've been like, oh, I want to get on social media, but I hate being on camera. I hear you. That is like my worst thing. But it's like the only way, I can grow this thing. Push through. Death to the old way of thinking. Strength in the new, right? You may know yourself, but do you let anyone else know the true you? You may feel desperate to be yourself, but have worn a mask for so long that you are now worried how friends, family, and colleagues will react if you stop acting the way they expect you to act. You may have embodied the role of people pleaser or entertainer, trying to be all things to everyone. If you show your true colors, will others treat you differently? Will you lose their respect or even their friendship? Ask yourself these questions and be completely truthful with your answers. Then decide whether you are brave enough to show your authentic face to the world. Ooh, interesting. Shall I still hide the real me? Which is interesting because all this is happening in Pisces in our 12th house, which is the house of hidden things. What is it I'm afraid they'll see? Should not by my light be owed to shine? Respect and love I own, 'tis mine. Time to stop hiding your light. Stand up for your beliefs. Express your true self. Don't follow the crowd. Time to go it alone. Someone isn't being true to you or to themselves. Interesting. So yes, this is very much about a rebirth here of a brand new you. That someone who you've wanted to be. But, maybe we're playing so many different roles. And now it's time to become that one great power. To call back to own all of these pieces of you as a driving energetic force. Use all of that, gather all your energy to become like a shining pillar. So Pisces readings are always really hard for me. I have Mercury in Pisces, so I get into I can feel it, but it's very hard to articulate. So hopefully this made sense. I have a couple of trolls who like to leave comments, which by the way, you guys are blocked, so I can't see them. Anyway, hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. I will do my best to answer them. Hopefully the audio worked on this, and I wish you a very happy eclipse season.
Hi guys. So this is the chart for the eclipse. Let me see if I can get a better view of it here. Yeah, a little bit. So let me explain why I keep saying this is an as above, so below chart. First, we have to talk about, there's two important concepts here, which is dispositors and inconjuncts. Dispositors are when another planet is in the sign, like you kind of ladder up to see who rules that chart, right? So like Mars is in Cancer. Cancer's ruled by the moon. So where's the moon? The moon is in Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. Where's Neptune? Well, Neptune is in Pisces. So that's a dispositor there. Then we look at the North Node and Chiron in Aries, which respond to that Mars in Cancer. And then we go back to the moon and Neptune. So the first house of this, the fourth house of this, all disposit to Neptune, as well as Pluto in Capricorn, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, who is in Pisces, ruled by Neptune, who is in Pisces. So the Neptune and the Pisces is very strong. Now, and then we have Jupiter in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, who is in Virgo, which officially ruled by Mercury. I think Chiron sometimes, but officially, let's say it's Mercury. So that's in its domicile. So that Neptune is strengthened because it's in its domicile. Mercury strengthened because it's in its domicile, and the Jupiter in Gemini responding to Mercury in Virgo. Sun in Virgo responding to the Mercury in Virgo. So those three guys are kind of one team, right? And then we go to Venus, who is in Libra, which is her domicile, right? She rules Taurus and Libra. So the Uranus in Taurus responds to that Venus in Libra. And then the South Node and the Black Moon Lilith there in Venus, in Libra, all responding to Venus. Now, Venus and Neptune in astrology are considered different octaves of the same note, right? Neptune is the higher order, Pisces is the higher order, the ethereal, whereas Venus is of the earth, right? And so these two characters here, let me take a step back. So we've gotten that so far. So Venus and Neptune are kind of like the same thing. One is earthly love, the other earthly love and earthly beauty and tactile things I can touch and things I can feel, and physical pleasures and physical sensations. And Neptune is the pleasure where you lose your body, right? Like you unite with the collective. It's art, it's music, it's poetry, it's drugs, it's alcohol. It's where you lose yourself to something greater. Whereas Venus is very much about feeling in a physical sense. But being of the same family, let's say, it's all very much about feeling. Okay. Now, Pisces and Libra are inconjunct. That's 150 degrees. It is considered, it's called inconjunct or quincunx. It is considered to be a blind spot, right? So your peripheral vision is 120, and then there's this space over here, 150 degrees, that you can't see. Now, directly in front of you, you can see what's coming at you, and then you can see up to here, But the 150 degrees is, you have to turn, you have to intentionally move your head to see what's going on over there. Now, the way I think of inconjuncts is kind of like when you are standing in front of the ocean, like in the water, right? You can brace yourself, you prepare yourself for the waves that are coming at you. But every now and then, some stuff goes on over here that you can't see, and the waves meet together, blah, 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 and they kind of like form a surprise wave, and they crash on you anyway. And because you were so focused in front of you, you don't see it. And it can knock you off your kilter, knock you off balance. It's literally happened to me. So that was why I always kind of associate it with that moment. But it's something you don't see coming, right? Because you are focused on what's ahead of you. And when we work with inconjuncts, they are bastions of change, of shift, right? Like I said, in order to see what's going on over here, you have to consciously move your head. It's not happening in your peripheral vision. You have to, something gets your attention here to make you turn and look and pay attention and see. So there's a shift, something needs to shift. And all those planets over there in Neptune are in conjunct, some of them a little bit wide because Venus is at 23, but the eclipse was at 25, so that counts. The eclipse is in conjunct to the Venus, right? Feelings, intuition, psychic powers, being shifted by physical sensations or by, Libra can actually be partnerships, judicial affairs, by fairness, the idea of equity, balance, bringing things into balance. At the same time, we have Mars in Cancer at 7 degrees squaring the nodes, right? And he is squaring the node at 7 degrees Aries and 7 degrees Libra, which is the south node, right? So those squares are choice points, right? You have to make a choice. You have to choose. Do I evolve? Do I go back? Do I move forward? Do I release? Like, which one of these things am I doing? Or am I trying to stay into the past? Like, who's getting my attention here? And so because there's so much going on with Mars sending energy to that 7th house of partnerships, of releasing old patterns, releasing old relationships, old ways of being in balance or being out of balance, right? At the same time, while Venus is in conjunct to the eclipse. Now we also have Pluto making his, step back in for a hot minute to round up his 20-year tour of Capricorn, trining Uranus at 27 and in conjunct to Jupiter. There's just like so much going on here. It's a really big, it's a big chart for change. Everything is pushing you out of your comfort zone, whether you like it or not, to move towards like even a bigger vision of yourself that maybe you didn't even have, right? Like guru status kind of thing, or like rising above, stepping into your spirituality in a material way, right? Not necessarily material in terms of coins, but material in terms of tactile. Or concrete, and offer a partnership here. So many of you may be finding, came out in the cards and the part that you didn't hear, many of you may be getting offers to partner with an entity that will force you not in a negative way, but guide you, lead you into a position of spiritual leadership, right? Whether that is you become a meditation instructor, you become a teacher, you become a witch, you become a preacher. You know, there is something about justice here. There's something about religion. The female factor in here is very, very strong. There is an angry feminine here that is ready to fight and looks and is ready to win. You know, it's a very, very powerful embracing of feminine energy right now, even if you are a male, right? That embodying that, being in touch with the beauty, being in touch with the love, being in touch with humanity, the animal kingdom, you know, whatever your thing is, it doesn't have to be the same for everyone, but there is an ethereal, beautiful way you can connect spiritually and physically right now, that is going to help you evolve into the next iteration of yourself. Now, I'm going to stop this now because otherwise I could just rattle on and on. I'm going to put this at the end so you can watch it if you want to. If you have any questions, let me know. But yes, this is you will find your power in accepting like the strength of the feminine. Okay. And oh right, so I was saying that as above so below thing is because there's all this happening with Neptune and happening with Venus, those two octaves, right? Those two planes working together to shift in conjunct, shift your reality, helping you make the choice, Mars square North Node, South Node, towards your future and release your past. And part of that is going to be potentially making money off of becoming a spiritual leader or becoming a pillar in the spiritual community. It's almost like the more you teach, the more you are connected with the spiritual, the more the material starts to unfold. Okay. All right. See you at the next reading.